Let's welcome Dr. V.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Dr. V. How are you?
Good. Doing very good. Doing very good.
Great, great, great. So yeah, in a few minutes after us, I think we're going to show this little brief interview we had with Dr. Webb from, the White House Task Force on COVID. But I just thought,
Okay.
we've got you.
Yes,
So let's
yes,
let's talk about
absolutely.
the new news now with regards to the fact that these masks. I don't understand it. Explain it to me. We don't have to wear masks. What? What?
If you're fully vaccinated,
Okay.
indoors, which means you are 2 weeks after your last shot. So if you were on a one-shot protocol or a two-shot protocol, you were 2 weeks after your last shot. Now, let me just say, that being said, um, I wouldn't necessarily do something like flying a plane without a mask,
Right.
right? Right.
Right.
We're still talking about, environments where you're not with a lot of people, right? So, I wouldn't necessarily go on a plane. I wouldn't necessarily do that at this point. But certainly basic indoor settings with other people that are vaccinated.
Well, how do you know? I mean, let's say if I walked out of here today and go into Target to buy one of those burgers, or to buy a pack of those burgers. I mean, I don't know who in that store is vaccinated. I mean, the
Yeah.
store may
So
tell me I have to wear a mask, but if they don't, I don't know who's around me.
right. So, I actually, you're more of a danger to them. So, my concern is that people who are not vaccinated are going to say, well, now I don't have to wear a mask because I don't have to tell people that I'm not vaccinated, right? I have my medical privacy rights. And those are the people that are more likely to get sick. And that's what we're seeing coming through the emergency department and in the ICU right now.
I see.
So, what happens is vaccinated people are going to be, more because the virus is still going around. I just remind people it hasn't gone anywhere, right? What this vaccine has done is made sure that we actually don't get sick as a result of it. So if you look last week, if anybody's sports fans, about 7 Yankee players tested positive, and they were people who had been vaccinated, but they didn't get sick and they kept on playing. So vaccination doesn't necessarily mean you don't get the disease. It just means you're less likely to get sick. Some people might get a cough or a sniffle. I've only seen one person that really got sick, like in the ICU, who was vaccinated, and that was a transplant patient. So if you do have, significant immunosuppression, like someone who's transplanted, then you should absolutely continue wearing a mask.
I'm so glad that you reminded us of that because we think that the vaccine is a cure and it's really not.
Not,
Yeah, I got you.
yeah.
And then what about children? Because now 12 to 16-year-olds can get the vaccine. We've been out on the street trying to talk to parents. We were really surprised that, even over here in Southeastern Ward 8, where we are, one of the
Mhm.
sites where children are getting vaccinated, our parents are not taking their kids to get vaccinated.
Well,
So,
yeah.
what do you have to say about one, the safety of those vaccinations for children 12 to 16, and why should we even be pushing that?
Yeah, so I tell people that it's really, really important to get kids vaccinated. I think this has been a falsehood that children don't get sick with COVID-19. It's actually, children do get sick with COVID-19. One of the largest studies that was done in Europe actually showed that there were children that got sick and died of COVID-19. But it is primarily children that are actually older in that 12 to 22 range, right? And when we talk about having comorbidities, the most important comorbidity is obesity, is childhood
Mhm.
obesity. And we have a lot of children in our community that are obese. And obese is considered anything with a BMI over 30. If you look up your child's BMI, there's a lot of parents who are not going to consider their kids to be obese. They're going to consider, well, he's just husky. If you look it up on the actual calculator, a lot of those kids are going to be obese. So that is a risk factor, and that is probably the most significant risk factor that children have, particularly minority children, for COVID-19. So I really urge parents. This has really been this has been, significantly tested. The Pfizer vaccine, which is the one that's been approved for 12 to 16-year-olds, is now going for full authorization in adults. So I believe in the next 2 to 3 weeks, it will no longer be emergency use authorization. It will be full authorization. So I really recommend that children get vaccinated that are 12 to 15.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's good news. Dr. Rhea, is there anything else you need to update us on about COVID that we haven't heard about?
Well, no, I did want to update you about Stroke Awareness Month.
Okay,
And
sure.
we can actually I can send you over a flyer and we can talk a little bit more about it. But a lot of people remember when our grandparents got a stroke and there was not much that could be done. Maybe they gave them an aspirin and that was it. Everything is different today. Everything is different. So you can get clot busting medications, you can go and get the clot removed. People are regaining function if they come to the emergency department on time. So we have an acronym and it's called Be Fast. B is notice that you have any balance or coordination problems. E is any sudden loss or problems with your eyesight. F is a facial droop. A is arm or leg weakness. S is speech, either problem speaking or problem understanding someone else. And T is time, call 911. So it's Be Fast. I'm going to send you guys the flyer for it so you can actually put it up on your website.
Wonderful. I appreciate that. And we're going to come back and talk about that a little bit more next week.
Sounds good.
Always great to have you, Dr. V. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Have a great weekend.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you.